Welcome to the Kentucky Atheist.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, unlikely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own.
All right, what's up, everybody? I see my chat bot is working today, thankfully. Welcome to the Kentucky Atheist. Today I got, today we're the Kentucky Creationist, I guess. I'm going to kind of steel man some Creationist arguments and talk to Mike about it a little bit, who is co-host over on Skeptic Spin with Justin. A lot of you may know him as Yahooligan, great friend of the show. Been a great friend for quite a while, actually. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Very nervous, but also thank you for the invitation to be here with you today.
Well, you don't have to be nervous. This is going to be the most laid back show you've done, because you just got to worry about talking to me, and I'll take care of the rest.
Excellent.
You joined Justin here recently whenever he launched Skeptic Spin, and you guys have already had some amazing guests on. Who is what are some of your memorable moments so far? Like, what have you really enjoyed doing and people you've talked to?
I'm terrible with names. See, oh man, you give me the good questions. I wish I was better prepared. We had you've been on. You were a lot of fun. We had David Fitzgerald, I believe, was on our show. He was fun to talk with. It's more, the more memorable things, and the things that are more fun is it's sort of the stuff that goes on before we go on the show, when I'm meeting everybody for the first time and trying to get a handle on who everybody is and what their place is and which is slowly going to help me try and find my place. But I think the most memorable moment ever was the first show we did, and the one clip. I sort of was in agreement with the wackadoos, and it had to do with about if families with more children might deserve more votes because they stand a better more claim in the community. And as a parent with children with disabilities, that sort of concept doesn't scare me all that much. I'm almost interested in pursuing something like that. But that's politics. We don't need to get into that. So
Right. No, I mean, I do a politics show here, and so we talk about a lot of that stuff on here because I think it's closely tied to the atheist community, and I think things like Project 2025 and Donald Trump's raising the issue of the Alien Enemies Act affects me directly, because my show is the things I talk about and things may become illegal. I mean, it's a weird thought that activism would become something that I'm not allowed to do. But yeah. So we talk about a lot of that stuff on here, and so that's fine. I don't care where we go with it, but you guys, I mean, I feel like you all have a really good show, and you've had some great guests, and don't know what that was, and you have some more great guests coming up in the future. The Justin has he's really good at hosting shows and the tech part of it and getting it all set up and format and all that. And he's just came up with a great idea, and you all pulled off well. I enjoy it, and I think a lot of our community does too. And
well, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks.
I don't know why that didn't work, Crystal. It should have. It's maybe it'll take it. I don't know. It's connected now though. But anyway, never mind that. We're worried about chatbot that I've tried to add to the stream and it's not working correctly again. I'm not sure why. But anyhow, so tell us, a little bit about you, your background, both like, who you are, where you're from, but history of religion, or are you an atheist? Those kind of things.
Yeah, I grew up I'm of Irish Catholic background, so religion's always gonna sort of be in my face till I die, based on sort of that. Well, I grew up in Western Canada, and in high school, we had a really excellent religious studies teacher who would, make us actually look at the way certain verses and scriptures and such were written, and find the flaws in them, and just sort of things like that. So he was a great educator, even though he was working within the Catholic high school system, to make us think outside of that Catholic square box. And I guess it may have started there. It probably started earlier than that, because my family, we were the practicing Catholics. Christmas, Easter, those are the most important things. Can't say we went to mass very often more than that. But I also had an aunt who was a nun, or was a nun when she was alive. So, the church has always been present in our family. I guess, once again, as I mentioned, being a parent of adults with disabilities, I've got 3 adult children, all with the same disability, and the odds of that happening are in the trillions. So it's like, it's with sort of those kind of things and how science sort of works. It's like, I know there's no God out there punishing me. It's just I've got the luck of the draw in other sort of ways. So, but again, I've never always felt there was a sentient being governing over our beings. I guess science class made more sense than religion class. So I've just always more had my thought process towards that. So, I don't deny it, but prove it to me. If you can prove it to me without a doubt, that's easier to believe.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's that kind of drives right into the first thing I wanted to talk about with you, because you're not very familiar with a lot of the mainstream creationist arguments and things. You haven't crossed that path yet, and so for me, my channel, I deal a lot with the claims that creationists make, because I was raised in a very high concentration young earth creationist area. Ken Ham put his Ark Encounter boat right down the road from where I live, and he put it here for a reason. there's lots of creationists in Kentucky. Pew Research says that 47% of adults in Kentucky believe that man walked the earth with dinosaurs. So it's, and I know it's crazy talk, but it's not a nothing topic though, because the fact of the matter is a lot of people believe this, and it's for those who weren't raised in it and stuff. And I see in the atheist community a lot, they'll say, well, most Christians don't believe that, and they act like the creationist topics are somehow silly to address or something. And also, admittedly, it takes a lot of perspectives to do this. So for me, I think it's important that whenever I am addressing creationist topics, rather than just enjoying the community, because I do more of that than anything. When I am addressing these topics, though, I do feel that there's some importance to it. And the Ken Ham, AIG, has gotten into the homeschooling arena and is now sending homeschooling kits to millions of kids around the country that teaches that the earth is 6,000 years old. And so I think it's an important topic, and I cover it a lot. Some people don't think it's as important, and that's fine. I mean, I would prefer, if you feel that way, that you not be the one covering it anyway, so it's okay. I will continue to do what I do. It's how I was raised, and it's my experience. My experience isn't the Catholic Church, so I don't sit and go on about the Catholic Church. I have plenty of things I could say about the Catholic Church, especially some of its priests that are still employed. But that's not really the arena that I have experience in. Let's just get into this a little bit. Let's see about where you are. Have you heard the names Kent Hovind, Ken Ham?
No.
Ray
No.
Comfort?
Well, I heard Ken Ham last week because we were talking about the Ark. But other than that, and Justin explained to me a little bit about who he is, and how the Ark is there, or this replica of an Ark. But no, I'm not super familiar other than that with his name.
So I kind of stole you from Justin, but that's not the only thing that I've stolen today. And give me 1 second here. Entire screen. We need the audio too. That's I kind of got my hands, like he calls it the tableau, but it's a tablet down here, right? And I put together, my own little triple take Kentucky Atheist Creationist style here. You can see it's all held together with old wood and duct tape, and so this is hobbled together from triple take. We're gonna just steal this today, and we're gonna do a creationist triple take.
Okay.
We're gonna do it a little backwards though, because since you're not so familiar with these people, we'll let you pick which one of them to hear from, and then after we go through it, then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the stuff they do. These three guys, these three guys are the trifecta of horse shit in creationist circles.
Okay.
So, it's a perfect thing, and a big shout out and thanks to Justin for helping out with this, actually. So on the real, but so we've got Ray Comfort, Ken Ham, and Kent Hovind up here. Which one of these guys would you like to familiarize yourself with first?
Well, let's get comfortable. Let's go with Ray Comfort.
I don't know. King Chris TV, you're welcome to come talk about it anytime you want. Ray Comfort. Maybe.
Behold the atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 ridges. On the close side, 2 ridges. If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 grooves, on the close side 2 grooves. The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface. It has outward indicators of inward contents. Green, too early; yellow, just right; black, too late. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face. You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations. Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. And it's even curved so much easier.
All right. Did that play okay?
It played like porn. So yeah, I played okay.
Right.
Wow.
So
Uh-huh.
so it's actually kind of great that you started with Ray Comfort, because he makes this argument here that everything is designed for us in this perfect way. What do you think about what he claimed there, though, about the banana and stuff?
I got so lost in the innuendo, and even the co-hosts' reactions to some of the innuendo. So, well, hey, I have heard that the banana is God's perfect fruit. It's not the first time I've heard that. I'm very pleasant that it's been designed with a tab so it doesn't squirt its contents in my face, because I hate when that happens. You know, it's happened to me twice, but that's a long story. Wow. Where first of all, does dude not have handlers? And they go, hey Ray, you know, dude, we really like where you're going with this, but you really got to listen to what you're saying.
So and I understand that sentiment, but you know, Ray Comfort is actually one of the wealthiest and most well-known creationists in the game. He is he's done radio shows and interviews and debates and makes millions of dollars off of doing this. And I agree with you completely. Now I made a video. Yeah, we can hear your songs during the show today, Al. But I made a video covering this, and one of the things that I pointed out is bananas, as we know them, the one that he held in his hand there, are genetically modified organisms that we designed. Well, not designed. They're all clones of the same banana, though. What we buy in markets and stuff. It is very much human intervention that makes the banana the way it is. Bananas, as they grow in the wild, aren't like that at all. They're tough. They're hard to open. They're small. They don't taste good. So it's, you know, it's different from that. But yeah, Ray Comfort is a lot of people have covered him. Matt Dillahunty even debated him and said he would never debate him again, because the whole time he's like preaching and I love you, Matt, and he says crazy stuff. He just does. And one of the common creationist arguments is fine-tuning, and that's what this is that the universe and everything in it is made for us because we are God's chosen one. You know, he loves us, and everything is designed. The universe, the planet, everything is made for us. And that's why bananas fit so nicely in your hand or your mouth. But that's one of the most famous Ray Comfort clips there is on the internet.
Oh my God, thank you for sharing that. That was, I used to think I'd never stumble for things to say, but man, the more I delve into this stuff, I see I'm still stuttering. I can't even find the words now. My goodness. All right.
Well, who would you like to look at next?
Let's check out Kent Hovind.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm frightened. Oh my God.
I said, well, ma'am, would you please tell me then where we came from? She said, we came from a macromolecule. I said, and where did that come from? She said, from the oceans, from the prebiotic soup. I said, and where did that come from? She said, it rained on the rocks for millions of years. You could see it was slowly dawning on her. You know, I do believe I come from a rock. I do. Better be careful going outside. Don't step on Grandpa.
So that's Kent Hovind. Did the clip play okay for you and you were able to see it?
For the most part, yes. It was a little glitchy, but I've seen a couple other clips by this dude. And this dude scares me a lot. He really does.
So Kent Hovind is probably the most well-known creationist on YouTube. He constantly puts out content and does open mics and debates on the channel Standing for Truth. He used to have his own channel, but it was shut down for misinformation. And so then he started streaming on the Genesis Baptist Church channel. But Kent Hovind likes to make these quips and things. And what he's talking about there is he makes the straw man argument that evolutionists, anyone that believes in the religion of evolution, believes that we came from a rock because water ran down the rocks and the minerals into the primordial soup, and then that combined to become chemicals and RNA and DNA and all that. So that's where he's going with that thing about the rock. Kent Hovind spends his days denying anything to do with evolution and almost solely debates evolution against atheists. And he says it's a religion. You have any thoughts on any of that?
Okay, so he if you're an evolutionist, he believes you come from the dirt of a rock. Is that what I'm to understand?
Yeah, he thinks that is the evolutionist argument.
That's their only stance. Okay. Again, this guy just frightens me because he's well educated and he's good at the double talk, and he's so good at getting you stuttering back on your own words. Those are the hardest guys to debate ever. Like, you have to make sure your thoughts are so clear and concise to get ready for the double talk. Like, he's a scary man.
Yeah, and as Justin points out in the chat here, that's not even evolution; it's abiogenesis, and he conflates those two things on purpose. So Kent Hovind he likes to brag that he's done 453 debates or whatever, and what he does is anytime he talks to an atheist or scientist or evolutionist, as he calls them, anytime that he speaks to them, he calls that one of his debates, and he thinks that he's won all of those debates. And he, like you said, though, Kent Hovind has charisma, and I will give him that. He does have that, and he uses it to spread lies and grift off of it. This clip is actually from his seminars, which you can buy for like $10 over at blah.com. And he pushes that, and he grifts a lot. And he has a compound down in Lenox, Alabama, where people who are homeless or struggling creationists can come live on his compound. And they've got cabins and stuff, and there's been several scandals that have taken place. A kid drowned in the pond down there. He had a known pedophile come and stay there, and he brought some kid with him that wasn't his, and a whole big scandal developed out of that. I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying these things did happen. And Kent Hovind spent some time in prison for structuring tax crimes, and
surprise.
He also then was charged with domestic assault when he assaulted his ex-wife, and so a lot of folks aren't comfortable platforming him or talking to him now. Kent Hovind used to be the go-to, though. It was almost an atheist rite of passage to debate or argue with Kent Hovind.
Well, anybody that's got a compound and is, is a religious zealot, that's always a bad thing. Haven't we learned that?
Yeah, it's very, very culty. A number of people from the atheist community have actually visited Dinosaur Adventureland, because the front is that it's a dinosaur park and it's a science museum, and he has like fake dinosaur exhibits and a playground, and little exhibits saying that this is why evolution isn't true, the geologic column doesn't exist, things like that. He's very much a grifter. He's probably the worst grifter of the bunch, in one way. We'll get to Ken Ham in a second, but yeah, these the creationist position is very much just denying everything that science says, and they like to make arguments against evolution usually, but the bigger issue is that they believe the Bible is literally true. So the Garden of Eden and everybody came from two people, and Noah's flood was an actual thing that happened, and all of the things are exactly the way the Bible tells it. And so they like to argue against evolution, but actually what happens is that they're denying not just evolution, but pretty much all of biology, genetics, geology, cosmology, paleontology. They're denying all these things. They think that Kent Hovind's actually been on talking about, he's going to go visit his friend that found a live pterodactyl and stuff like that, because the narrative is that the Earth is 6,000 years old. And do you know how they arrive at that number?
No, how? Please.
Okay, so in the Bible, after Adam and Eve are kicked out of the garden, you get into all the begots. This one begot that one, and this one begot that one, and then Abraham and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So what they do is they trace the lineage back through those generations, back to Adam and Eve, and that gives them a time of 6,000 years. Now, some creationists will argue, young Earth creationists will argue like 6,000 to 10,000 years or 10,000 years. And then there's creationists that believe in an old Earth, but still believe that special creation took place. So the young Earth creationists, though, are the big ones are these three right here, and they're guilty of lying to children and all kinds of people about science. They've made a living off of it, and Kent Hovind knows that the things that he says aren't true. He has been confronted with facts over and over and over by the likes of actual evolutionary biologists. R.N. Raw has corrected him a number of times. He has had his arguments completely and utterly destroyed, yet he still reads from the same script every video.
So I'm more taken back that there's different levels now of creationism. Like there's these guys are the young creationists.
So there's young Earth creationists. So creationism itself is, to me, and this is, creationism is just the idea that special creation took place, that God created Adam and Eve, and it went on from there. God created the earth in some of them say 6 literal days. Some of them will say it doesn't really mean days. It means ages or whatever, but none of that really works. In fact, it's worse if you do that. But creationist is just the idea that God created everything the way it is. And everything we see was a creation of God. Now, there are different ones, though. The young Earth creationists are the ones that say the Earth is 6,000 or 10,000 years old. They say millions of years is a myth. There's no such thing. You weren't there to observe it, so it didn't happen.
Okay.
So, real quick before we get into looking at Ken Ham, we've got a little bit of an audience has showed up here, and while everybody's here, I want to say thank you to all of my channel members. We're up to about 27 members. I'm not going to play the thing across the bottom of the screen, but I will here in a minute, of everybody's name and stuff. And also a big thank you to all of my Patreon members: Greg, Robin, Quinn, Ray, Regios, Captive Desk, and Narrative Dude. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on Patreon. I've got some new stuff coming out over there for you guys soon that'll be exclusive only to Patreon. And also, the channel is now streaming on Twitch and YouTube, and we will be streaming also on Twitter going forward, or X, whatever you want to call it. So check all that out, and please, if you're here and this is your first time visiting, just like and subscribe if you want. That'd be awesome. Memberships start at 99 cents if you're interested in that, though. All right, so, and thank you to everybody that's here today in the chat. Purple, good to see you. Zach, Carrie, PC out there doing the moderating perfectly as always. Volpix, Al, who else do we see here? Stephanie's here. It was nice to meet you on our last member stream, Stephanie. Jason, that's all I see at the minute. Sangji, hey everybody, thanks for coming. I did see a moment ago somebody was saying, like, if you don't know the arguments, you're pathetic for talking about it or something like that. And to any creationists or theists that are visiting and have a problem with my take on these things, you are more than welcome to come and correct me. I will give you the platform and the floor to do so if you'd like. You can come and tell me how I'm getting it all wrong. But all right, with that, let's get back to the show. Spin Dr. Mike from over at Skeptic Spin is our guest today. Justin was good enough to let me steal him, and I also stole Triple Take and hobbled together this beautiful screen that you see before you, made of old wood. We have looked at the claims of two creationists. Ken Ham, before we watch this, I want you to know who Ken Ham is. He is he's from Australia, but he's now in Kentucky, and he owns the Ark Encounter and Creation Museum. He was the president and is working on transitioning out of it, and somebody else is taking the job. But he's the head of a huge creationist network called AIG, Answers in Genesis. So with that, let's go ahead and look at Ken Ham.
Can science tell us the age of the Earth? Actually, science can't tell us anything. Scientists tell us things. Now, what people are really saying is, you know, can scientists actually determine the age of the Earth? Well, there's only one way to determine the age of the Earth, and that's if someone was there who saw it all happen, who revealed to us when that happened. And we have someone, and that is God, who created all things, who tells us he made everything in 6 days, made Adam on day 6, and then we have the genealogies that list when people were born. Up all those dates, you can come then to Abraham, and then to Jesus, the babe in a manger, and then to the present, and when you add that up, it comes to about 6,000 years. And there's nothing in observational science that contradicts. All man-made dating methods have assumptions. They're all fallible. They all cannot be trusted to give absolute dates at all.
See, the scary part about that kind of stuff. The scary part about that kind of stuff is you know, like, perspective is everything. I get it from his perspective because of his belief, how he gets that number, but how can, I don't know. I guess these people who just deny science is a thing are just ridiculous. And this is why tigers eat their young, right? Like, oh my goodness, like, it's
a good point.
You know, and again, because his perspective is so strong, and his data, because aligns with his perspective from his belief, it's you can't argue it, because he's got his own facts to back it. And God, these guys are so loony.
Yeah. So, and I didn't realize that all that stuff I got into about genealogy was actually what that video was about.
That was pretty good. You set me up good. So I definitely.
So, do you know what the Ark Encounter is?
Well, only from the perspective, we touched a little bit on it in our show last week. That it's that museum that's a replica of Noah's Ark that is in Kentucky, and you had said earlier that it's not too far from where you live.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours from here, which is close relatively, you know. But so what the Ark Encounter is a realization of Ken Ham's nonsense. He argues about Noah's flood and the Ark all the time. That's his big thing that he's known for and that he talks about all the time. And so they built this gigantic boat that is the size described in the Bible. Given a cubit is like some average measurement from your fingertip to your elbow. They built this boat, and it's the facade of a building, but they say it's the largest freestanding timber structure in the world. And he chose the small town in Kentucky, and they gave him lots of tax rebates and things to build it there because he promised it would bring 2 million tourists a year. And they changed the highways around and sold him land at dirt cheap prices and gave him tax rebates so that he could build this thing and open it. And he already had what's called the Creation Museum, which you can imagine what that is. And
yeah.
So he built this boat, and it's filled with animatronic dinosaurs and people, and he has dinosaurs wearing saddles, and he
for real. I'm looking at pictures of it online right now. So
yeah.
Okay, but really, dinosaurs wearing oh Jesus.
Yeah. So a number of atheists have went and toured through this. Bill Nye famously debated him when it opened. Aaron Ra's been there. Gutsick Gibbon does an excellent walkthrough of it. A number of atheists have went there and actually videoed going through it. They don't like that. They've kicked out a lot of people too. And I will actually be assembling a protest at the Ark Encounter this coming up July, which is the anniversary of its opening. This will be 8 years that it's been opened. The Tri-State Free Thought in Kentucky usually does that, but they're waiting for the 10th anniversary before they set up another one. But they said I'm welcome to use all the resources and stuff to do it if I want to. So I think that's something that we should do every year. Personally, I understand why they don't want to, but I think I want to do it. So I'm working on doing that coming up this year. We were going to do it this past year, and I didn't know that they weren't having it at all. So we ended up having to cancel, but a bunch of people came to Kentucky to visit me, and it was a lot of fun. Everybody came, and we had a great time. But so the Ark Encounter, what Ken Ham does, he makes everyone that works there sign a statement of faith. You have to say that you believe in the narrative that he's peddling, and he employs professionals in biological sciences to lie to people about evolution. Georgia Purdom is somebody that works for him that has a biology area degree. I think it's actually in some kind of genetics, honestly, but I'll have to look. But she has a biology degree, and she goes on and tells people that evolution is made up and it's just a story and none of it's true. And it's sad that she does that because she knows better. We know for a fact that she knows better. Evolution is the cornerstone of biology. Like,
Yeah.
biology works because evolution is true. But so let me tell you about some of the more deviant parts of this. So Ken Ham, in order to get people to come to this Ark, there's a big auditorium there, and he buses in kids from schools and stuff to come on field trips because it's a theme park. And they set them in this huge auditorium, and they have this big stage, big fancy setup, and he makes them repeat after him that the earth is 6,000 years old. Noah and his family built the Ark. Evolution is a lie, things of that sort. He has them set and repeat after him, and which is very reminiscent of like brainwashing and cult activity. How do you feel about those things?
Well, I definitely don't like the fact that their rhetoric, like the rhetoric to which is supported here with, the 6,000 years old, like the whole creationist thing is just crazy. And it's the fact that is that being taught in schools? Like, are you saying down in your state that sort of rhetoric is being taught in schools?
So now how to put this? So when I went to high school, my high school biology class did teach intelligent design. They did not teach Adam and Eve and creation, just that rather than evolution being responsible, creation is an alternative theory, is how they taught it. And then we skipped the chapter on evolution, but did the chapter on intelligent design in my book. There's Kitts v. Miller is a famous trial that took place in Texas, where they outlawed certain textbooks in schools because of the intelligent design stuff in it. The court ruled that intelligent design is part of your belief, and it's based on blind faith and not science. And they said that they weren't allowed to do it. The book that they outlawed, of Pandas and People, or of People and Pandas, I think is what it's called, was my high school science book. So yes, they did, but these days, not as common. They're not teaching that. They're because they know they'll get in trouble quickly now, because it's easier to reach out to people and find resources and stuff with the internet and things. When I was in high school, the internet was brand new. You know, I graduated in 2001, so the internet was kind of a new thing and just starting to grow really fast. Public schools now, I don't know of any that are teaching this stuff. If I did, you would know about it because I would be talking about it every day. I would be contacting Freedom from Religion Foundation and RFR and everybody that I know that can assist in getting that taken care of. The ACLU, whoever, I would be in contact with some important people if I find out that that's happening. But up until just a few years back, it was very much so taught in schools all over the place. But Kentucky, I know you're from Canada, so that doesn't make you any less familiar with American politics. I'm not claiming that. But just because I feel like you may not know some of the nuances of it, Kentucky is a very, very red state, and it is Christian nationalists almost exclusively. Those red folks are. We have a Democratic governor, though, because Kentucky has a couple big cities, Louisville, Lexington, Frankfort, and those bigger cities were able to vote in a Democratic governor. But Kentucky is a very, very red state, and it's just been in recent years that they did stop pushing this in schools and stuff. But like I said, what Ken Ham is doing, and this is the thing that really bothers me that I talk about so often, is that the homeschooling arena. So lobbyists in our government have lobbied Congress to not put restrictions on homeschooling. It's freedom of speech, they say. And so homeschooling is almost completely unregulated in the United States. And that allows for Ken Ham to push the narrative, to push the narrative that he was talking about there, that the earth is 6,000 years old and evolution is a lie and we weren't there to observe it. And dating methods are not accurate and make assumptions and all that. So he puts all that into his homeschooling courses. And somebody that I've had on the show, a great resource for this, and for those of you that asked for books, they're coming. I'm waiting. He shipped a case of them to me, and as soon as I get them, I'll ship them out to you. But Mark Alsop was a guest on the channel, and he wrote this book, Journey to Reason. He's also from Kentucky, and talks about leaving young earth creationism and Christian fundamentalism. And so there's a lot of good resources out there against this, but still we have them in the homeschool arena, and a lot of these deeply religious parents are buying Ken Ham's homeschooling stuff, and their kids are being raised to believe that evolution is a lie and that the earth is 6,000 years old. I feel that is very harmful and very dangerous. You think that's fair to say?
Oh, do I ever? I'm more taken back by crap. There was a point that you made. I wanted to counter there. Well, the homeschooling thing is scary enough. Oh, that's what it was. It's interesting how the other side, when they're talking about the homeschooling, and it's freedom of speech. We should be allowed to teach this to our children because it's freedom of speech. And the stuff that you've been teaching, you're not allowed to talk about it anymore. What like freedom of speech is? I love how it's good for them, but not good for you. Like,
oh, right. It's always good for me, not for thee. Right.
Fucking so fucking sick of that argument. Shut your pipe hole. But it's wow. Like it's I've always had an issue with the involvement of church and state. It's, as it just baffles me how I don't know. I guess I guess I'm more baffled, I guess, nowadays how naive I am to the world around me, that there are people that think so extremely, and they're actually educated people, and like people that if I were sit down and have a cup of coffee with, we can have a great conversation. But then if we start talking about this topic, it's like, holy kookadoos, where did the fuck you got come from? like that. Oh, I'm dumbfounded by my naivety, and this is like this last 6 weeks with Justin on Skeptic Spin, and your invitation is definitely opening my eyes way more. That holy cow, there's the way some people think is just illogical, and it makes no sense.
Right. Well, one of the things that I picked up from the wonderful Stephanie Helms is that, and she says this often, is that I don't care what you believe, I care about what you do. And I don't care that these people hold illogical beliefs or whatever. Like, I get indoctrination is a thing. I went through it, and luckily, was able to escape those crazy beliefs. I don't think the people that hold these beliefs are bad people. I don't think that the people that hold these beliefs are silly or stupid or none of that. I do think that the belief itself is silly, and definitely illogical and definitely unsupported. But they're, I think you hit everything on the head, though. You're right. Let's look real quick. I've seen a couple people sent some comments about what we were talking about. Volpic said, Ken Ham homeschool curriculum and now PragerU being taught in public schools. Are you familiar with PragerU?
No, what is that?
Yeah.
Please enlighten
You'll
me.
have to come back for that one. That's a whole other can of worms.
Jeez.
Purple rhymes with orange. My high school biology class spent half the semester on evolution. He mentioned some people believe God created everything and waved that away as single sentence, never to mention it again in 1978. Yeah, I wish that was my experience. I'll tell another story about school in a second. Homeschool kids should be required to take the same standardized tests as public school kids twice a year to be sure they're keeping up at their grade level. So one of the ways that they're getting around that is so homeschool kids, generally the way it goes, if it's not being run through the school system, because you can be homeschooled and still go through your local school system. Generally what they do, though, is they teach the kids these things at home, and then they take a GED, it's an equivalent diploma, is what a general education, or what is it? GED, equivalent diploma is what it is. But so what they do is they include many of the things that are going to be on that GED. They do teach them some things, but they also teach them a lot of lies on top of it, because there's not going to be any questions about that particular thing. And while homeschooling is completely unregulated for the most part, I think that we do have to have, like, if you're going to homeschool your kids, you can't just be teaching them religion as education, I'm all for having a comparative religion class or having a mythology class that talks about religion or whatever. But whenever you try to incorporate religion, general equivalent diploma. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Whenever you try to incorporate religion into science and teach it in the science classroom, though, you are contradicting whole branches of science, and you're stifling the education of tomorrow's leaders and important people. And not to say that they're not able to overcome this stuff through college and education, but if their starting point was when they were younger in elementary school and high school, you would be giving them the tools to be more successful. by stifling their education at a young age, they have to then wait till they get out of high school and go to college to start their actual education. And I think it's harmful. I think you can demonstrate that it does actual harm, and it's one of the most evil things to come from religion.
Agreed. Very much.
I go on rants about it. You got to watch me. Somebody brought up poutine. I didn't know what poutine was until Justin told me here recently. We don't, of course, have that. Justin sent me a whole box of snacks and stuff from Canada.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, and I did a video where I tried them on camera and stuff. And I have to say, I would move to Canada if I wasn't a felon. I would move to Canada just for the coffee crisp bars.
Oh, okay. You like the coffee crisp? Okay.
Cheesies are pretty good too. But yeah.
Yeah, this is my very Canadian shirt.
Yeah, fries, cheese curds, and gravy. Yeah, I'm gonna make some poutine here soon, and maybe I'll make it and try it on camera for everybody.
There you go.
And you can see if I did a good job making it. The Jess, who is my sidekick here, is responsible for a lot of the art you see on the screen now. Did my intros, made the thumbnail for today's show, and all that. Thank you so much, Jess. I love you. But she's from Canada also. She made the trip down here to visit me this past July, and it was really awesome, and I'm so glad that she came. And did you go to BajaCon with Justin, or did he do that?
No, that was before I got involved with everything. So
right.
I was just starting in and around that time. So I'm hoping to be involved this time around. Actually, the guys from BajaCon, I believe, are going to be hanging out with us tonight on Skeptic Spin. Yeah, I believe they're our guests tonight.
Al Trucker is the best vocalist from Canada. I don't know if you've met Al, but Al is from Canada and makes some great content and has great conversations covering things about physics and religion and stuff. He does it more from a conversational style, and Al's a great person and a great friend of the channel, and he won't ever come on my channel though. He doesn't like me. But Al wrote some songs and stuff about the Banana Man and stuff. Al, if you can, I don't know if you have a wrench or not. I don't think you do, but if you can, actually, I'll go on Facebook and give you a wrench. Give me a link to your Banana Man song, and we'll play it on air here for everyone to hear. Banana Man, of course, is about Ray Comfort, the first video that we watched.
Oh, yes, because the banana is perfect for the hand.
Yeah, I will. All right. Al, you now have a wrench. Post a link to that, and we will watch it. But so yeah, I really love though. I love our Canadian friends up north, because you guys don't necessarily have the religion isn't the oppressive thing it is in the United States, at least to the same degree.
Agreed.
And yeah, I mean, you guys do have your fundamentalist Pentecostals and your mega churches. Those are there.
Yes.
But it's not, it doesn't have the political influence and stuff that it does here. So I love having people that are so close to us, and you know, our cultures kind of, you know, combine quite a bit, as most people live close to the border. But it's an outside perspective looking in on the things that go on in politics and religion in America, because it's the two things have almost become combined into one thing. Christian nationalism is a horrible ideology that is destroying our government, and unfortunately because so many Americans hold these irrational beliefs, it's growing and becoming worse and worse. Okay, I see it, Al.
Yeah, it's tough watching your big brother spiral out of control. You know, like that's it's like we love traveling through the U.S., but it's become a scary place as it slowly unravels with some of these crazy. Like, I don't know if I ever want to go to Florida ever.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to open this like that. Give me just 1 second here, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
I tell you what, while I'm looking, it may not play well, but I used AI to actually make a couple little songs.
Surrounded by believers, but I'm in this seclusion and praying every day, thinking I need a solution. I'm stacking up my paper, that's my constitution. I tell them keep that cross, I got my own direction. While they're checking about salvation, I hustle for perfection. In this crazy world, I'm the star of my own show. Telling me that God above is just show on the go. The thoughts in my zone, ain't nobody would preach. While they lost in their prayers, I'm just here to teach. They saying I'm a sinner, but my life is still sweet. Jones rolling through Kentucky, cruising to my own beat. This show from Kentucky, no divine intrusion. Surrounded by believers, but I'm in this seclusion and praying every day, thinking I need a solution. I'm stacking up my paper, that's my constitution. I tell them keep that cross, I got my own direction. While they're checking about salvation, I hustle for perfection. In this crazy world, I'm the star of my own show. Telling me that God above is just show on the go. The thoughts in my zone, ain't nobody would preach. While they lost in their prayers, I'm just here to teach. They saying I'm a sinner, but my life is still sweet. Jones rolling through Kentucky, cruising to my own beat. This show from Kentucky, no divine intrusion. Surrounded by believers, but I'm in this seclusion.
What do you think of that?
It's a good groove. That's pretty slick. And you created that with AI?
Yeah. Here's another one.
You know, you've seen Terminator, right? You know how this is all going to end.
What is it?
I said you've seen the Terminator. You know how this all is going to end, right? Okay. So,
All
and Carrie Ann, I hope that's a good thing that I look like your stepbrother. I don't know. All right, let's hear the polka. Go with the polka.
Okay. 1 second. I want to share. I want to share this. Okay. So I want to go back and okay, let's get rid of this. I see what's causing me problems now. All right. 1 second, Mike. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
No problem.
All right. Now everything should run a little smoother. I didn't know that slideshow was still running in the background. Here's that song.
But she's crossed the divide. In the heart of the Bible, but she's doing just fine. No burning bush, no spiritual song. Just the sunrise telling her to keep moving on. With her skeptical smile, she's breaking from the mold. In the land of tradition, she's daring to be bold. Kentucky free thinker with her mind open wide. The land of the faithful, she's taking her stride. No need for a savior when the stars shine above. She's finding her answers in the world that she loves.
That's pretty slick too.
Yeah. You get in and you mess with the prompts and stuff, and you can get it to spit out some good stuff. I've got a lot of those. I'm messing with. And Sydney's correct. There is a cream for the burning bush.
Oh.
All right. So this is Al's song, and just I know y'all can't really read the read it, but here it is.
It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Kirk sits with a shit-eating grin. There's a Kiwi man making love to his curved yellow friend. He says, "This is the atheist worst nightmare. I hold it like this 'cause I blow. But it's curved and it's weak, and I don't know the deets, but I'll lie if it makes me some dough." La la da da dee dee da. La la dee dee da da do. Sin if you must, you're the banana man. Sin 'cause you're wrong tonight. Oh, we're all in the mood for some fruit tonight, and you've got a handful of pipe. Well, that snake at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my fruit for free, and he's quick with a joke or an apple that chokes, but there's some genetic mutates. He says, "Ray, you gotta stop, you're killing me," as that grin fell right off of his face. Well, I'm sure that I'd find a crocoduck if I could just see its place. Oh, la la da da dee dee da. La la dee dee da da dum. Now Paul is a biblical novelist who never had time for the truth. And he's talking with Kirk, who's really a jerk, and probably will be for life. And the waitress is bringing a daiquiri as the banana man makes us all groan. Yes, they're sharing a thought that's illogical, but it's better than think for yourself. Sing us the song, you're the banana man. Peel us a fruit tonight. Well, we're all in this for fake charity, and you've got us convinced it's all right. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. The college kids know you're a fraud, 'cause he knows that that fits his hand perfectly. It's God's perfect shape. And the banana, it sounds like a GMO, and the peel falls down to the floor. And they sit on that bench and are crappy two wenches with whom they'd like really to sin. Oh, la 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 da dee dee dee. La la dee dee da da dum. Sin if you must, you're the banana man. Sin as you look on with lust. Well, we're all in the mood for a deity, and Ray needs bananas to bust nuts.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
Yes, very good, Al. Very good. I'm going to. So I like what AI does. I'm not a big fan of AI art and stuff because I feel like it does sometimes steal copyrighted material and take jobs and stuff away from people that do that. But the AI music is just kind of fun. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to make money off of it or anything. It's just fun to play with. I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. So I'm going to work on writing some lyrics myself and then let AI take those and make some songs out of them. I think that's the plan. Kind of what Al did there. But that's the website Suno, SUNO. You can go on there and you just give it some prompts. It'll make songs with your name or anything in it that you want, and make it in any style that you want. And it's a lot of fun to play with. You just type a sentence and it spits out a song.
Cool.
Yeah, so a lot of fun. You'll find dealing with the atheist community that the only thing we agree on is that we don't believe in a God. There are so many people that are creative in so many different ways in this community, and it's amazing. We have experts in science and all the related fields to talk about the important issues, evolution and geology. Hold on, my cigarette's trying to go out. I need that. We're in Kentucky. there are experts in all the related fields and stuff to talk about those things. We have some great authors in our community. David Fitzgerald will be on tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm
He's
going
good.
to give away a couple of his books to the audience out there, so tune in tomorrow for that. But there's just so many people that are good at so many things and have conversations from so many perspectives. We have people that were born and raised creationists like myself. I was a creationist until I was in my 20s. We have people that never experienced anything with religion and were born atheists and remained that way. So there's a lot of variety of people in our community. And Mike, I'm glad that you're quickly becoming one of them.
Well, thank you. Thank you for embracing me and bringing me in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love doing on this show is introducing new people. I love bringing people on that don't really have a presence or just beginning to have one in the YouTube community anyway. And I love to bring them on and expose them to as many people as possible. Now, this video will get, I don't know, by the time we're done, it'll probably have 60, 70 views. But then it stays on my page. And over the course of the next couple of days, I expect it'll get a couple hundred views. They generally do. So hopefully it exposes you to a few people that haven't seen you, that are interested in going over to Skeptic Spin and subscribing over there and watching your guys' videos where you have great guests come on and talk about important issues and have fun with the triple, or what is it called? The triple take. Triple take. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
All good. All good.
But that's a lot of fun. Justin had done something similar previously as far as like looking at little videos and stuff. But the triple take's great. The triple take is great because it's a segment you can do with the guest. You know, you can still do a whole show interview and all that. And but it's so much fun. I love it. And I've worked with Justin several times. I've hosted shows for Justin, and he's came over here and helped me. And in fact, the camera that I'm using to talk to you right now, Justin. So he's been a big supporter of this channel. I was looking through people who have gifted memberships and stuff, and Justin has gifted so many memberships to this channel and sent so many super chats and things. And he's just an incredible person. And you couldn't have a better person to work with doing the stuff you guys are doing. So I think that his abilities and with your sense of humor and personality, I think that you guys are a great match to do a channel. And I hope that I hope that it blows up and you make millions of dollars. But you know, I definitely hope the best, and I think you guys are doing the right thing. And I just want to say I appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you so much for your support and all the kind things about Justin. Known him for over 25 years, so I agree with everything you're saying. You know, there's the reason why we've been friends for so long, and he's just an amazing dude. And I want to thank you again for all your support you've done for our small little channel right now, and inviting me over here today and enlightening my small, naive little atheist brain here. So this has been not only super fun, but oh my God, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight, how frightening and enlightening it's been. But this has been really cool. So really thank you for the invite. And I'd be happy to come back anytime if you'll have me. So
yeah. I would love to have you join us anytime you want to. I love having extra voices on to talk about things. See, there are a lot of channels, and I'm not going to name any names or anything, and this isn't a bad thing either, but there's a lot of channels that spend time debunking, you know, the things that creationists and theists say, you know. Kent Hovind claims that there's a flood, and people show him the geologic column and stuff. Now, I do engage in some of those conversations, and if somebody says something like that, I am prepared to rebut such a statement. But I found that I focus more on the community. We're a group of people that we already know that. We already know that Noah's Ark and that story is completely debunked. We already know that the Earth isn't 6,000 years old. I mean, we're sure of that to such an extent that it becomes repetitive, and a lot of people in the community get tired of people like Kent Hovind and Ken Ham and Ray Comfort. And so I try to look at it from that perspective and have fun with it. So sometimes I may mock the ideas that are put out there. Sometimes I may just talk about the dangers that it poses. Or sometimes I may have authors on and give away their books or whatever. And then we do a political show because it ties into that, right? I mean, it's the same kind of stuff. I don't think I need to convince anybody that's here currently, or probably anybody that watches this. I don't think I need to convince them that the young Earth creationist claim is false. They're aware that it's false. And so I'm not going to play dressed up monkey and sit and say, well, there's, you find these fossils in this layer and no lower, and we can use radiometric dating on this and that. Like, they know that, and there are experts out there that do that well. I'm not one of them. I have a degree in computer science. I've spent a lot of time talking to people and stuff, and so for me, it works better to just start from the position, okay, we all kind of agree, on this aspect of it. Young Earth creation is silly. Now let's just have fun and meet people in the community and talk about those that are going out there and doing good, So yeah. I kind of flipped it on its head a little bit. I've engaged in debates. I did one on Mark Reed's channel against Kyle Adams, who's a Mormon young Earth creationist. I debated T-Rock about the geologic column as evidence of evolution. So what these people are doing, I take very seriously, though. What they do, like I talked about earlier, that is the thing that I like to speak out and fight against, is what they're doing. Their belief, it's silly. And that's, I don't think it's on the same playing field as science. I don't think that engaging in argument about young Earth creationism versus evolution, or the theory of evolution, which is corroborated and supported and observed, I don't think they're on the same playing field to argue about. That being said, I do appreciate those that do it correctly, that go out there and say, you said this thing, it's wrong, because that information needs to be out there for people to find. So I don't agree with saying, well, you shouldn't talk to this person because they're just full of shit or whatever. I don't agree with that. But I do agree that, like, there's probably not much value in me coming on here and explaining the geologic column and how that refutes young Earth creationism. There's no real utility in me doing that. So my channel's a little bit different in that aspect. I have people on, I talk about who they are, what they do, how they feel about it, things like that, so that we can grow as a community and kind of normalize the atheist community itself. We don't need to fight with Christians. Christians have set up this narrative that we are the enemy, and we're not the enemy. They are their own enemy. It's people like Kent Hovind and Ken Ham making these crazy, absurd claims about the Earth being 6,000 years old. That's the thing that's turning people away from that religion. Yeah. People know better. It's the information age. You can find just about any fact at your fingertips or in your pocket in a moment. You can look up things and fact check it. And so it's easy to find thousands of reasons why not only is a flood not supported, but we actually have evidence that it didn't happen. We can say with confidence there was never a worldwide flood that took place in the last 10,000 years. That didn't happen. So that being said, I do enjoy just as much as everybody else watching stuff like that. I think that Grayson, from the channel Grayson Hawk, formerly Base Theory, I think Critical Base Theory, I think that Grayson absolutely destroyed Kent Hovind in a debate when he went out there to Dinosaur Adventureland and did it in person. I think Van Disa did a fantastic job. And I think Planet Peterson, the most recent thorough beating that Kent took was Planet Peterson. And I think that he completely destroyed him and that it was great. And yes, blessed be he. I'm going to let Mike talk. We're trying to get to know Mike here. I go on my rant. Blessed be he is my enemy, I guess. She has decided that we can't get along. I'm just joking, be he. You're not my enemy. But yeah, so that being said, Mike, what being new to the atheist community, what's your impression of atheism on YouTube? Like, how do you feel about how it's being addressed?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very, very new to it. Most of my exposure is happening while we're doing Skeptic Spin, and meeting those guests and working with the triple take clips that we're doing. You being here today with you and speaking with you and hearing your views have definitely enlightened me wholeheartedly on just even, like I said before, my naivety in not only sort of atheist beliefs, but even in creationist beliefs, more Catholic beliefs. I'd like to think of myself as a relatively educated guy, and I'm open to change any thoughts as long as the proof is in the pudding. And I'm very open-minded to hear what everybody has to say and everybody's views, so I can come to my own conclusions. But it's been, again, so enlightening learning about, like, I wasn't aware that there's just a pocket of a community within your own state that this is a thing. Like, it's, I'm still taken back by the whole Mormon activity in the entire state of Utah for the most part, but the fact that such a small pocket of community that, like, it's almost like you live in a cult valley
Sure.
there in your world, and how naive of me to think that doesn't exist. This is going to be quite a journey, and I'm very excited about it all, because I'm quite taken back that in what I think is a modern age, how backwards and very Neanderthalic some of these thought processes are. So no, man, this has been great. It's been a lot of fun and extremely eye-opening.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Mike. And again, I'm always happy to see new people using their voice to even if it's not to debunk something, to criticize bad ideas or good ideas for that matter. I'll always love to hear people giving their perspective on it. And I don't know if you've heard of Neil the 604 Atheist, but he does a lot of deconversion stories and has people who are new to the community on to tell their story and how they ended up here and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't hear from him soon, or he would, if Justin or you were to reach out to him, he would immediately set up and have you on to do that, which is a really fun thing and a great show. Neil and Mikey Famine, two amazing creators on YouTube. And well, Mikey does a lot of other stuff too. Well, so does Neil. But just a great show, and they would love to have you on to tell your story. That being said, were you raised religious? You're muted.
Hi. Sorry. As I mentioned a wee bit earlier, we were kept practicing Catholics. Like I went to a Catholic high school. Obviously, the way education in church and state and everything is involved in Canada is slightly different than the U.S. But I went to a Catholic high school. I've been through all the sacraments. We went to the big masses. We always went Easter. We always went Christmas. Of course, after Christmas, you always go for like 6 or 7 weeks because you got to try and look like you're good Catholics for everybody. Yeah, like even the town I grew up in was founded by the Catholic Church. It's called Saint Albert. But my parents were preachy.
Sure.
As I mentioned in the beginning of our show here today, I had a really great religious studies teacher in high school, and I've been finding it interesting. Like you talk about, like we were taught both in high school. I never thought any different because we had religion. Yeah, so there God created man. Yakety do, and there we were in biology class and teaching about the Big Bang Theory and dissecting frogs and monkeys and all that stuff. So how interesting I think my education was the fact that both were taught, but yet none pushed out. Like none was forced to take a path. So I don't know. I guess because I was never forced to take a path one way or the other, I let what I feel my insight and education brought me to the journey that I'm on, and those are what my beliefs are.
Yeah. No, I understand, and all that makes perfect sense. And the thing about having like teaching religion as a separate course, or comparative religion or religious studies, or looking at it for what it is, and kind of almost, I would prefer addressing it from a mythology standpoint. Like they teach Greek mythology. I think that it kind of falls in that sort of category personally. That's my opinion. I don't care that they teach people what Christianity is. It's such a huge influence in our culture of television and politics and everything we consume. I mean, you go to the store and buy food that some of it's marked as kosher. So religion definitely plays a big role in society and culture. So I'm completely okay with teaching people what Christianity is. The problem I have, and where I switch from just somebody that doesn't believe into an activist, is whenever you start taking things away from science and replacing it with your belief. And your belief is not, first of all, is not supported by anything using the scientific method. And second, your belief is irrelevant to facts. Facts are those things that comport with reality, and the claims that religions make do not. So there's not a problem of teaching people what those claims are, but teach them as the claims, not as the science. Aaron Reese here in the chat said, the problem with Christianity is its ineffectiveness. They help asking if I found Jesus, and I'm like 365 million believers, and you can't mount one search party. Was fishing with my grandson. Not sorry that I'm late. Good to see you, Let's Farm. Good to see you. Yes, Ember has a channel that some of you may have noticed. My videos have been playing all day, all last evening, all night, and all day today. There is a 24-hour stream of my videos, and on the 24th hour, I will appear live on Ember's channel tonight and do an interview on the Atheist Lives show, talking about me, I guess. And just to bookend it, it started with my first interview I did with Ember a year ago or so, and shows my movement through atheism thus far. and we'll end it with that tonight. But that with that, we will wrap things up. Mike, first of all, thank you so much, and the community thanks you for coming and talking to us and for using your voice. I do have your links on YouTube. It's in the title and in the chat for Skeptic Spin. I didn't link you personally. I didn't figure you wanted that, but I've got links for Skeptic Spin down there. And what are you working on? What do you guys got coming up?
Justin does most of the legwork. Again, because I'm so new, and I'm just even finding my place with him. But I know tonight on tonight's show, we've got the organizers of Baja Con stopping by, and they're going to work our triple play tableau with us in our show. So, and I think Justin mentioned, he wouldn't tell me who it was, but we're going to have a big secret guest also pop in and visit us tonight. So if you're interested, stop on by. We're 7 p.m. Eastern time. Live on our channel, and as Joe said, the links are in the description below if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last thing I will say is let me show this because I haven't done it yet. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for being the great community of folks you are, and for supporting creators. Both small channels and large. It means a lot. Oh, you're just agreeing with me?
Thank this guy. Yep.
Yeah. It's so important that the voices of these creationists not be the only voices out there. If you hold some kind of rational belief, then you should have no problem with it being criticized. And so again, we're not the enemy of the creationists or the atheists. We are a source of information. We correct bad ideas. We address pseudoscience and fairy tales and call them for what they are. It's not that we're the enemy. It's that they make absurd claims, and there has to be people out there to challenge those absurd claims. So that's always my goal, and just growing the community and getting to know all of you as well as I can. So with that, thank you so much to all my channel members that are scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. You guys have helped make so much of this possible, and things are going to keep growing and getting better as we go. If you're interested in a channel membership, you can pick one up for 99 cents down there. We also have my Patreon, and one more time, I'll show my Patreon supporters. Greg, Robin, Quinn, Ray, Regios, Captivist, Narrative Dude, thank you so much for your support. You make all this possible. That's all I got for you guys. Catch you in the next one. Thank you.